It is true that we both are advocating medical amnesty, so I think that regardless of who gets elected, some progress should be made on the issue, which is exciting. I think that because it is such kind of a hot topic issue lately on college campuses nationwide, that we have to be smart and think about a plan as far as having the most successful way to getting the state legislators to approve this. It's kind of a twofold process, I guess. It's first of all, it's getting PSG's support. It's passing it through the Senate. I have a lot of faith in the fact that senators represent the best interests of the students, their student constituents from their different schools. And so I think that if we can prove through the student Senate that there is a strong Purdue support behind moving towards such legislation, I think that that could go a long way locally and at the state level. I think that, as Monica indicated, it could be difficult at a state level to get this piece of legislation passed. Indiana's a relatively conservative state, and I think that this is somewhat progressive legislation, and I think that it could hit its speed bumps at the state legislature. However, I think Jamie Steiner and I have kind of thought about a plan to mediate that issue on more of a local level that can actually give students a true protection under this act. We met with Chief Cox, and Chief Cox suggested that Jamie and I set up a meeting and talk to Pat Harrington. He's the prosecuting attorney for Tippecanoe County. And Chief Cox recommended that although right now police officers are under kind of verbal protocol to not prosecute the minor who is consuming alcohol and who calls for the help of another individual. It's not written down, and so if we were able to secure a signing statement from Pat Harrington, I think that way, at least somewhere on paper, it's put down that this issue exists, that we will only prosecute under extreme conditions. Obviously, they're not going to agree. Obviously, they're not going to agree to signing off on no minor consumption in the cases that apply to medical amnesty. What they fear is that if they kind of give amnesty to everything, then you have the students that call in for help for their friend that then is a little too intoxicated themselves and interferes with the process, jumps on the stretcher. So they won't be able to kind of mediate that issue, but hopefully a signing statement from Pat Harrington will give some written support and backing for this legislation at a local level.
Okay, thank you. Will, you have a 3-minute response?
I'm glad you asked this question, because I would like to point out, because medical amnesty is one of the things that we both have, how exactly we're different. First, we also are advocating for lobbying on a state level. It's a lofty goal, but it's not one that we shouldn't necessarily strive for just because it's lofty. However, because it is lofty, we've taken a much more realistic approach, which is something that's characteristic about our campaign. First, our plan is a two-step process. It begins with university-level action. I think one of the best things we can do is work with the university to change our regulations for the dorms and residence halls. And I think it starts there. It's a lot simpler and it's a lot easier to start with the university, get a university-approved policy like they have at Ball State in Indiana, and then work to lobby the legislature. And that's our plan.
Okay, Brad, you have 1 minute to rebut Will's idea.
I guess just since you get to speak after me, I would be interested in what changes specifically you'd like to see made to university policy, because I feel like a lot of the circumstances that fall under the medical amnesty idea are, the issues are addressed by local law enforcement, and so I just wonder, what exactly do you hope to put on the books as far as university regulations go that you think is going to mediate the issue?
Fantastic. Right now, a student, if they get in trouble, they get strikes against them in the dorms. For these kinds of situations, I'd like to get rid of the disciplinary action. That way, if they are in this circumstance, they're not going to get those strikes against them, and they never have to worry about losing their status as a student in the residence halls. That way, they never have to worry about losing their home while they're a freshman on campus. They never have to worry about finding somewhere else to live during the middle of the semester. Does that answer the question? Yes, I'm aware. Thank you. I think one of the biggest things I would love to see happen with ITaP is this. Purdue has invested in technology that we're not currently using. Purdue has put cameras and microphones in several classrooms across campus. And if Purdue is going to invest in technology and they're going to install it, they should turn it on. They should use it. Students should be able to take full advantage of it. I think if we have classrooms in Cranor, classrooms in Rawls, CL50, Beery, EE, just to name a few, that have the capability to record lectures, they should. I think we should tell our teachers how to use it. Purdue should not waste our money, and that's what they're doing right now. Thank you.
All right, Brad, do you have a 3-minute response?
Yeah. I guess our solution as far as ITaP goes, if you guys are unaware, ITaP has been charged with cutting $5, $10, and $15 million over the next 3 years respectively from their operating budget. And kind of through meetings with them, they've explained to us that their number one concern that they hope to kind of preserve in spite of budget cuts is maintaining the same level of performance and computer access for their clients. And their clients are really us, the students. We propose, and it's kind of, I won't take credit for this idea. This idea is the result of a Mort subcommittee's kind of talking. Jamie actually had the opportunity to serve on that subcommittee. They propose installing laptop lounges. And lounges is somewhat of a misleading term. Really, it's more of a laptop barista. Installing countertop space in unused areas of current computer labs, or even high traffic areas like possibly Stewart or the Union, and allowing students the access to an Ethernet cable, an outlet, and desk space, workspace, for them to use their laptop. Most college students own laptops, and right now there's no incentive to bring them to campus. The ITaP labs do a pretty good job of meeting our computing requirements in between class. But for those times when you just want to check Facebook or you just need to print off your essay in between class, this would be an easy way. With campus-wide print queues rolling out in the fall, it really gives it makes these laptop lounges that much more successful. You will be able to print to a Purdue print queue. Go to any printer no matter where you are on campus. Swipe your Purdue ID card and have your printing come out at that printer. It's going to kind of change the way that computing is done on campus, and I think that this is one of those projects that from an ITaP perspective really sustains Purdue for tomorrow. It helps them with some cost savings, and I think that it's just a neat project in order to continue to meet the needs of students.
Okay, Will, you have a 1-minute rebuttal to Brad's statement.
I think it's interesting. I was a barista at Starbucks, meant to make coffee. Laptop baristas seem a little different. Laptop baristas, I'm just kind of curious where the money and the space would come from this. Currently, we have lounges across campus that students can sit down with and use their laptop. We have wireless internet here. It seems to me that we're kind of solving a problem that isn't a problem. But more so, I think we should concentrate on, instead of installing new facilities at Purdue, concentrate on things like in our platform, using existing ones that just aren't being fully utilized by faculty, such as the cameras and the microphones. They're there. They're installed. There's no question about who's going to pay for them. Purdue already did. Let's just hold them accountable for it. Thank you.
Brad, you have 1 minute to respond.
I guess I just wonder who we're holding accountable. I actually had the opportunity to meet with Jerry McCartney, who is director of ITaP at the beginning of this year. And he explained to us that there are a lot of things, like the technology you speak of, that Purdue has invested, that ITaP has taken the time to make available for professors as a resource, for instructors as a resource, and for students to be able to benefit more from that scholastic experience. But they can't force professors to use it. And I don't know if that's what you're asking, is to mandate on the professors how they run their classroom. I think it's tough. And Jerry McCartney and me would fully support the professors utilizing the existing equipment. I just wonder how it is that you plan on making them.
As for who I would hold accountable, I would hold accountable any administrator that wants to waste your money. I would hold accountable any administrator that is going to waste Purdue money. I would hold accountable everyone and anyone that is going to take your money and not spend it wisely. Secondly, I think it would be very important that we tell our teachers and educate them on the process. Currently, there's been no education. Even if they wanted to use it, they couldn't. So who's to say these teachers wouldn't utilize the programs if they knew how to use them? Currently, there's been absolutely no money invested in education. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to the next question.